Saltinesses and Bliss. I've got a fun new recipe for you. So tonight I am featuring steak roll-ups. This is the steak I like to work with. This is just over a pound of top round. Any steak you want to use will work as long as it's boneless. If it's a thin boneless steak, that will work the best, and that will be the one that will cooperate. But again, go with whatever cut you like or whatever cut you have in the house. So I'm just going to open this up, and what we're going to do is I've got a cutting mat underneath this. That's an optional step, but you want to lay out a sheet of plastic wrap. We're going to lay our steak directly on there, and then we're going to cover it with another sheet of plastic wrap, because we're going to use a meat tenderizer or anything flat and heavy you have in your kitchen to kind of pound that down, thin that out, and get the most out of this chunk of meat. So this is something like what your meat should look like at this point in the process. So we've got it in that double layer of plastic wrap. Again, just anything flat and heavy in the kitchen that you have handy. And you're just going to pound that out until it thins out and kind of spreads out a bit. So here is our steak all slimmed down, thinned out. All right, so now the idea is we want to cut it into thick strips. And what we're going to do with those strips is we're going to flavor them, and then we're going to roll them up, and that is where we get our name and our idea for the recipe. Okay, so we've cut our steak into strips. Next step is to pepper it. You can use any pepper you want, and that pepper will be to taste. So now in a shallow dish, we want to mix together some olive oil, basil that is dried or fresh, and garlic that is dried or fresh. The quantity you use will be up to you. We're just going to put a light coat on our strips. So I would say just mix and blend however much you think you'll need, depending on how much meat you're using. Again, I'm using just over 1 pound. So let me mix and blend that together. And then we're just going to brush that directly onto our meat. You can try to coat the edges and the sides there too. If you want, you can flip it over and do the other side as well. So we've got our meat all prepped here. The last couple of steps, we're going to take some Swiss cheese. I am probably just going to fold my cheese in half. You can divvy that up however you want. You can keep the whole slice. You can go with cubed, whatever works for you. Shredded. Swiss is our low sodium cheese, so it's a great cheese to use in recipes where you don't want to add any extra salt. Let's do it like that. There we go. So that's our cheese, and then on top of that we've got some loose leaf spinach. You can go with any other herb if that works better or that's what you have in the house. The nice thing about working with spinach is it gives it a nice texture, a nice color, a nice little health kick without adding or taking away from the flavors we've already put on there. So that's the only thing I would caution you if you go with a different herb than what we're using here, which spinach is not an herb. But if you choose to go with an herb, that may change the flavor a bit, but it also may enhance the flavor. I've got a glass dish here that I've coated with some cooking spray. Any dish that's oven safe will work. And we're just going to roll these up as best we can. And then you're going to put them seam side down in your dish. Repeat those steps until they're all in there. Here they are, ready to go in the oven. I decided to use that last little chunk of cheese for a little garnish on top there. You can top yours with anything you like, or just all the additional flavors that we already have put on the inside of our wraps, of our rolls. And now they will go in our preheated oven for about a half hour. See you then. All right, here is our steak roll up with all the tasty stuff inside coming out. That's all right. We'll just enjoy it on the side. Some of them stayed intact. And then we've got some unsalted butter and parsley egg noodles here. There we go. Let's cut into that. Give you the full effect. Some of that spinach in there. There it is, guys. Tasty dinner tonight. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.